Hey you guys, Ryan Riggin here from Sandhills Community College. I am the Director of Recruiting and Associate Athletic Director at Sandhills, and with me today I have Jonathan Garrison. Jonathan, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey guys, Jonathan Garrison. I'm the Director of Sandhills Promise and Scholarships.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I got a few questions for you. How do I know if I have qualified for the Sandhills Promise?
That's a great question, Ron. So the first thing that we'll do after our semester ends in May, we will go through, we will look to see if a student has successfully completed 4 more CCP courses with a 2.0 or higher GPA and a 67% or higher completion rate. And if they do, then they're going to get a Sandhills Promise checklist letting them know that they are eligible, and then the checklist goes over what steps they need to take to finalize that Sandhills Promise eligibility.
Okay, so if I know I've qualified now, what steps do I need to take and what enrollment requirements do I have?
The nice thing about our enrollment requirements is you don't have to wait until you are deemed eligible, so to speak, or until you get that checklist. A lot of our students start doing their processes now. But what you'll need to do is just a few applications. The first is the FAFSA. That's the free application for federal student aid. That is at fafsa.gov, FAFSA.gov. We want you to fill out a 2021 FAFSA application. The most important application, I can't stress this enough, is our SCC scholarship application. In our SCC scholarship application, there is a question that says, are you a current high school senior? And it gives December 2019 to June 30th, 2020. And if you're graduating from those times, it'll say, are you a high school senior graduating and applying for Promise? You want to check yes. Once you've checked yes, that's going to take you to a very quick, very simple 4-question Sandhills Promise application. And once you submit that, that's how I know that you have intended to come to Sandhills under the Promise. One thing that trips a lot of students up is we do need you to fill out a new admissions application. You've already got an admissions application on file because you've taken CCP classes, but we've got to have you do a new one. You reapply to the college as a degree-seeking student for fall 2020, and you'll fill out the RDS or residency determination application for the state as well. And then the final thing is, once you graduate, request that your high school send your official high school transcript to our admissions office. And those are the steps to apply.
When is the Sandhills Promise deadline? What if I'm a procrastinator? I know nobody listening is going to be, but what is the deadline for the Sandhills Promise application?
Our priority deadline for Promise this year is July 9th. And so that's when all applications, so that we can guarantee that you'll be ready to go for August, July 9th. And just to back up just a second, Ryan, our scholarship application is right on our homepage. If you go to sandhills.edu, if you look down in the middle, you'll see some, as they're called, Christmas presents or blocks. One of them says financial aid, veterans benefits, and scholarships. Click on that one, and then you'll see a link for scholarships and Sandhills Promise. The FAFSA link is there, and our admissions application link is there as well. But step 3 on the scholarship homepage is the scholarship application.
If I'm not interested in a curriculum program, I know we do have some continuing education options with the Sandhills Promise. Can you talk to me a little bit about the differences there between Sandhills Promise from a curriculum perspective and from a continuing education perspective?
We're really excited to be able to advertise this for this year, for fall 2020. We understand that not every student wants to come get a 2-year or 4-year degree. And if that's the case, then our continuing education department offers a ton of different programs that students can take. It's the exact same enrollment requirements. It's the exact same FAFSA scholarship application, Promise application, new admissions app, high school transcript. But we've got some programs that instead of coming for 2 years, like our, baking and pastry, culinary, engineering, we've got welding, phlebotomy, nurse aid. There's our North Carolina Firefighters Academy. There's plumbing. Construction management is a new program they've launched, an awesome program. There's industrial systems. There's just a ton of different programs that lead to a really great job and some really awesome certificates that the Promise will pay for. And if you don't want to come for 2 years, or if you don't want to go to 4 years, you can do these CE offerings, and the Promise will cover those just like a normal curriculum class.
Jonathan, really want to thank you for taking the time to join us and talk a little Sandhills Promise today. Really appreciate it. Hope you're staying well out there in social distance land. Do you have any kind of parting thoughts or anything before we send everybody on their way?
Yeah, just to reiterate a couple things, don't wait. You can go ahead and start your applications today. I know that shifting high school classes online and maybe some of your college classes have shifted online. It's a challenging time, but we're here. Ryan and I are both here for y'all. If you have questions, we are still working, so we're here to help you navigate whatever questions you may have. Also, the other thing is, take advantage of the Sandhills Promise. If you're coming to get your nursing degree, any of our health sciences or other 2 years degrees, you could potentially walk away with 2 years of free tuition and a degree that's paid for. If you are transferring to a 4-year school, you can come get your first 2 years with us, again, free tuition, and then when you transfer to NC State or Duke or Carolina or wherever it is, you've just saved you and your parents half of what you normally would have spent. The other thing is, one question that we get a lot of is, maybe I've been accepted to a 4-year school. I'm going to go ahead and go to, UNC Charlotte in the fall. Still go ahead and lock in your Sandhills Promise eligibility. You can still, as long as you take at least one course with us in the fall, and I don't care what that course is. If I had basket weaving, which we don't have, you can take basket weaving, but we don't have.
Could be online basket weaving.
Yes, you could do online basket weaving. As long as you take one course in the fall, you will lock in your Promise eligibility. And this way, if your college allows it, you can come back, take online electives with us, save you a ton of money, and you can come back and take summer courses. But the bottom line is, it locks in your Promise eligibility for 2 years. So that's a good plan B, just in case. You never know.
That's a great point. Really appreciate that insight, and we had a lot of students take advantage of that this year, and I'm sure that more will take advantage of it going forward. Thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.
Ryan, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, man.